a shimmering tear in reality rips open, swallowing me whole. One moment, solid ground. The next, I'm tumbling head over heels through a vortex of searing light and howling wind. My pack slams against my back, every impact a fresh bruise. I hit something hard, then soft, then hard again, before sprawling onto an uneven, glowing surface, my vision blurred by the sheer, overwhelming velocity. The air here doesn't just roar, it sings with 1,000 tiny, high-pitched shrieks, each note a needle in my eardrums. I cough, my throat instantly raw, as bioluminescent dust chokes my lungs, coating my tongue with a gritty, sweet metallic taste. It's a dust devil, a colossal whirlwind of pulverized, glowing flora. It swirls around me, a dizzying, blinding tempest of emerald and ruby light. I can barely make out the canyon walls, towering above, streaked with what looks like pulsating veins of pure energy, almost alive. Between the canyon walls, clusters of glowing chili-like pods swayed wildly in the storm, their crimson light mixing with the emerald dust. My survival instincts kick in, overriding the shock. I need to move, to find cover, before this storm grinds me into nothing. My fingers scrabble for purchase on the smooth, strangely warm rock, but the wind is a physical presence, pushing me. It whips past, carrying not just dust, but small, sharp fragments of something ancient, something ceramic-like. This place feels alive, angry, and utterly alien. Most people would see only danger in this glowing chaos. I see something else. Ingredients. Every strange scent, every impossible color, every life form fighting to survive inside this storm tells a story. Somewhere out there is the ingredient that belongs to this world, and finding it has always been my curse. Fear twists in my stomach, but curiosity is stronger. If I'm going to survive this valley, I'll have to understand what it grows. The grit-laced wind, a constant, rasping presence, momentarily falters. A sudden pocket of silence opens in the perpetual chaos. I pause, my specialized goggles automatically clearing the last of the swirling debris from their lenses. My objective remains Ceram wheat samples buried deep beneath this toxic maelstrom. But something else demands my immediate and absolute focus now. The dense orange haze thins rapidly, peeling back like a membrane. It unveils a section of the crater floor I hadn't anticipated. Ancient, gnarled flora emerges from the gloom, twisted and calcified like coral left too long in a kiln. Even before I understand what I'm looking at, my mind slips into familiar habits. Edible, toxic, medicinal, reactive. Years spent chasing impossible ingredients have trained me to categorize everything. The plants pulse with a soft internal glow, shifting from deep violet to pale azure. When my boot touches the ground, their rhythm changes instantly. My wary steps, almost imperceptible against the subsiding wind's whisper, seem to trigger a subtle acceleration in their luminescent beat. Each dull thud of my heavy boot, each slight shift of my weight, echoes in their bioluminescence. It's an eerie, almost intelligent response. The air, momentarily still, hums with an unfamiliar, organic resonance. This isn't just geology. This isn't just atmosphere. This is a living canvas, responding directly, actively, to my presence. A central mystery unfurls. Is this a warning, an invitation, or simply an advanced ecological defense mechanism? The implications ripple through me, replacing initial dread with a sharpening, almost obsessive curiosity. The ground beneath my feet feels less like inert rock and more like a vast, breathing entity. I hold my breath, utterly captivated. My breath hitched, ragged and thin through the filter. The air, thick with pulverized rock and glittering mineral dust, didn't just swirl randomly. It coalesced into a precise, low-lying vortex, not destructive, but purposeful. I pressed myself against a jagged outcropping, my entire body thrumming with the rock's vibrations. The debris cloud, a churning beast of particulate matter, was gently, yet insistently, pushing small, scuttling creatures away from a specific section of the vast crater rim. This wasn't mere environmental chaos. This was a boundary being enforced. My initial dread morphed into a potent, almost overwhelming curiosity. The creatures, six-legged things with phosphorescent antennae, scurried back, their instinctual fear radiating even from my distance. They avoided the dark, glowing edge like it was poison itself. That rim, darker than the surrounding rock, pulsed with a soft, internal luminescence, utterly silent amidst the storm's low growl. Strange, angular symbols, deeply etched into the stone, glowed faintly along the lip. A central mystery unfolded before me. What ancient intelligence shaped these shifting winds, organizing chaos into order? What did those silent, luminous glyphs warn of, or fiercely protect at this silent, glowing crater? I traced the jagged, luminous script etched into the crater wall, feeling its subtle vibrations against my fingertips. These aren't just symbols. They're kinetic, shifting with the localized debris storms, almost like living hieroglyphs. My initial dread of this hostile environment starts to morph into a strange, focused obsession. Each shard of ancient lore I decipher feels like piecing together a cosmic puzzle. The logic here is alien, non-Euclidean, forcing my mind to contort, to abandon everything I thought I knew about plant habitats. The air grows thick with dust and static electricity, yet I can't pull my gaze from these markings. Then a recurring motif clarifies itself. I see depictions of the Ceram wheat, not just growing, but thriving, specifically within the eye of these mini-tempests. And always, intertwined around its base, are the shimmering filamentous threads of blueberry vinefruit. The vinefruit isn't merely coexisting, it's actively resonating, forming a dynamic protective field, a microdome against the debris storms. This is important. Keep this word, hunter. It describes not just how I acquire ingredients, but how these ingredients themselves survive. My entire strategy must shift. The vinefruit isn't a secondary ingredient. It's the living sonic key to accessing the vulnerable wheat, a symbiotic shield. The storm isn't just a hazard anymore. It's a cradle, intricately safeguarded by resonant fruit. My makeshift goggles, layered thick with compressed debris, groan under the relentless pressure of the storm, but I hold them firm. Each hard-won glimpse through the swirling grit fuels a focused obsession that burns through the dread. The outside world is a blurred, roaring chaos, yet my vision tunnels, sharp and unwavering, into the crater's very heart. And then, a flicker, a persistent shimmer amidst the maelstrom. Even the wild, bioluminescent chili growth surrounding the crater seemed to avoid the Ceram wheat's territory. My breath hitches, a cold knot twisting in my gut. There, deep within that churning maw, are the kernels, each one a tiny, exquisite shard of pure porcelain, catching the ethereal light like fallen stars. They're woven, almost symbiotically, into dense thickets of dark indigo blueberry vinefruit. These aren't inert plants. The vinefruit pulses, its tendrils vibrating with an undeniable, fierce energy, a defensive tremor, a silent, low-frequency warning. Ceram wheat. I see it, clear as day. Its glossy, tiled appearance confirmed, as is the intelligent, living barrier it calls home. The prime ingredient is before me, beautiful and utterly menacing. My initial dread warps into a cold, unyielding resolve. The confirmation of such a dangerous target only sharpens my intent. transforming curiosity into a determined, fearful hunt. This is the prize, and its watchful protector will be my next formidable challenge. My tongs extend, a gleaming silver line through the shimmering, humid air. I aim for the core of the Ceram wheat cluster, delicate stalks woven inextricably with the rich, glowing purple globes of blueberry vinefruit. The valley hums with a low, vibrant thrum, a constant undertone of the bioluminescent life here. But as the metallic tips near the vinefruit, an almost imperceptible change ripples through the atmosphere. The tiny, glistening filaments of the vinefruit, previously swaying gently, stiffen with unnerving speed, coiling tight like miniature springs. They whip out, not to ensnare, but to unleash. A piercing, high-pitched shriek erupts, vibrating directly through my teeth, resonating deep within my skull. My vision blurs, the vibrant bioluminescence of the valley shifting and wobbling like a distorted reflection in water. My fingers spasm involuntarily, nearly dropping the heavy tongs. This isn't just a passive trap. It's an active defense, a brutal warning, almost a territorial roar. My head throbs with a sharp pain, and I instinctively flinch back, wrenching the tongs away from the furious plant. This organism, it's not just growing, it's fighting. It's a true survivor, a relentless hunter of its own space. This is important. Keep this word. The sonic blast abruptly fades, leaving my ears ringing and a bitter, metallic taste on my tongue. I stumble backward, retreating several paces, my heart pounding a chaotic, frantic rhythm against my ribs. The plant settles, its filaments slowly relaxing to a gentle undulation, but the message is now unequivocally clear. This acquisition will be far more complicated than I ever imagined. My objective just redefined itself. The low hum intensifies, a pervasive physical pressure against my chest. I press myself behind a jagged basalt formation, watching intently. The debris storms aren't random. That hum, it pulls them. A distinct sonic pulse echoes, and a moment later, a localized vortex of grit and sharp stone erupts where I just stood. It's a rhythmic, intelligent sequence of cause and effect. This isn't just wind. It's a conducted chaos, a sonic choreographer of destruction. My mind races through possibilities the same way it does when a recipe collapses unexpectedly. Every ingredient has strengths. Every ingredient has weaknesses. Nature follows the same rule. If these sonic pulses can move storms, then something in this valley must naturally dampen them. No ecosystem creates a weapon without creating a counterbalance. The ancient crater flora, the very samples I seek, pulses faintly, defensively. Could their unique structure somehow disrupt this energy? I need a shield, something to absorb that powerful resonance. My gaze falls on smooth, flat fragments of dense sedimentary rock, fractured plates left by past upheaval. Then the tattered remains of a sun-bleached explorer's cloak, snagged on a thorny shrub. Rough cloth, dense rock. I grab them both. Urgency, a cold knot in my gut. Working fast, my raw hands wedge the scavenged cloth between larger rock pieces, forming a crude, layered panel. It's bulky, imperfect, but the idea is sound. I time my movements now, not just to visible debris, but to the precise silence between the pulses. The next hum builds to a crescendo. I raise my makeshift dampener, angling it defensively. The impact still shudders through me, a violent tremor, but the main force deflects, scattered. A vital new rule of this world settles in, transforming my fear into a cold, hard focus. The lull isn't a silence. It's a breath held, the grinding roar of debris momentarily muted. I slide low, cloak snagging on sharp mineral teeth. Ceram wheat stalks shimmer, kernels like obsidian beads. Below, blueberry vinefruit pulses almost imperceptibly against the crater wall. My kitchen shears are cold steel, my hand trembling. This is my only chance. A sharp tremor. The ground groans. No time for hesitation. I lunge, a blur of motion. Snip! Ceram kernels tumble into my pouch, distinct and heavy. Snip! A generous vinefruit section, slick and vibrant, joins them. Success! I've got them. This is important. My entire being, honed by these trials, focused on pure survival. Keep this word. Hunter. Then the world screams. A wall of debris, glowing red with friction, surges from the canyon depths, a hungry maw. I pivot, propelling myself backward, tumbling, crashing. My reinforced pack takes the brunt, shielding me from the shards that pepper the air. The wave roars past, inches from where I stood, its scorching breath washing over me. I cough, dust filling my lungs. I am alive, and I have the ingredients. The bioluminescent fungi cast eerie, shifting shadows across my makeshift workstation. Each glowing cap pulsed like a slow heartbeat, barely illuminating the task before me. My hands, still tingling from the last debris storm's close call, reached for the Ceram wheat kernels. They weren't just kernels, they were miniature engines, vibrating with an internal energy that defied their inert appearance. I pressed them into a rough stone mortar, the vibration transferring directly to my bones, a deep hum resonating through my skull. Grinding was less about crushing and more about coaxing. The pestle met stubborn resistance, a faint, almost melodic whirring sound emanating from the grains themselves. My forearms burned with the effort. Next, the blueberry vinefruit pulp. It wasn't merely pulp. It was a living, viscous goo, pulsing rhythmically in its bowl, a dark, bruised violet. When I poured it onto the nascent flour, the entire mixture seemed to shudder. The vibration intensified, a low thrumming that resonated in the air. The dough refuses to cooperate. It stretches apart whenever I bring it together, as if each ingredient is trying to return to its original form. I've worked with difficult ingredients before. Volatile spices, living fungi, fermentation cultures that seem to possess minds of their own. Yet this feels different. The Ceram wheat vibrates with rigid determination, while the vinefruit pulses with chaotic energy. I'm not simply mixing them, I'm convincing them to coexist. My forearms ache as I continue kneading. Slowly, reluctantly, the resistance begins to fade. The tremors synchronize. The dough steadies. What began as conflict transforms into balance. That's the secret every great recipe hides. Not domination, harmony. My spoon hovers, then plunges into the ceramic cobbler. The surface cracks with a delicate, almost musical sound, revealing the soft, fruit-laden interior. Ceram wheat offers a surprising, crystalline crunch. Blueberry vinefruit bursts, releasing a wave of warm, sweet tart liquid. This is it, the culmination of endless searching, dangerous harvesting, and relentless processing. I swallow. A searing, tingling sensation washes over my skin, starting at my fingertips and spreading like wildfire. Not pain, but intense transformation. My skin tightens, then hardens. The same glossy sheen I noticed on the Ceram wheat spreads across my arms like liquid porcelain. I touch my arm. It feels like polished, cool tile, reflecting the dim habitat light, a glossy, protective shell. The world outside hums differently. The debris storm, once terror, now registers as a complex, rhythmic dance. Each impact against my habitat is a choreographed beat. The harsh winds are a protective embrace, a constant, low-frequency hum of warning and vigilance. I feel a profound shift, an internal calm. The valley's hostility isn't gone, but my perception has fundamentally changed. I am no longer fighting. I am part of its intricate, dangerous ballet. This isn't just a meal. It's a new way to live. That's a wrap for this world. If you want to keep exploring the multiverse with me and see what ingredients we hunt next, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. The next portal opens soon. Don't get left behind. See ya!